Splatoon is huge, especially in Japan. In the short span of 3 weeks, Splatoon 3 has sold almost 8 million copies worldwide, and 5 million of those were in Japan. In 3 weeks, the game has sold more than some video game franchises as a whole. But although 8 million is an insane number, it doesn't even compare to the recent Pokemon games, Scarlet and Violet. Whereas Splat 3 sold 8 million in 3 weeks, Scarlet and Violet sold 10 million in 3 days. 3 days! Despite the fact that, let's be honest here, the game launched as a complete and utter mess. I haven't played it myself because I never play any Pokemon games, but I've seen some of the clips online and Jesus man. So, how is Pokemon still able to do so well even with all of this? I personally think that there are two main reasons. One is nostalgia and the other is reach. And that second one is very important to Pokemon success. Even if you're like me and you've never touched a Pokemon game, you've probably still heard of it. Books, merchandise, trading cards, porn, wait what? Have all helped Pokemon reach the limelight. But one of the most important things to Pokemon's success is, of course, the anime. I may not have played a single Pokemon game, but I can sing the iconic opening in my sleep. I wanna be the very best that no one ever was. To catch them is my real test, to train them is my cause. The Anarchy album is dropping soon. Shit, where was I? Oh yes. So basically, an anime, cartoon, or live action show, or even a movie, can help a game, or really any piece of media, reach a much larger audience, which in turn makes people want to buy what said piece of media is based on. Basically, what I'm saying is we need a Splatoon anime to help Splatoon reach a bigger audience. But what would it be like? Will it even be any good? Well, I'm here to talk about how I would personally do it. So sit back, relax, and subscribe. So, the first question is, will it be based on the games or on the manga? Well, I think there are pros and cons to both. But let's mainly talk about the games. If I was to make a series based on the first Splatoon game, here's what I would personally do. The plot will of course be based on the story mode of Splatoon 1. You know, Great Sapfish gets stolen, Captain Cuttlefish gets kidnapped, what? However, there are a few changes I would make. 1. Agent 3 would be a silent type, but not a complete mute like in the OG game. They would pretty much be like one of those characters who only speaks when they need to and say the bare minimum, like when Cuttlefish asked them if they want to join the Squidbeak Splatoon, Agent 3 would be like, okay. 2. Agent 1 and Agent 2 would be revealed as Kelly and Marie as soon as they appeared on screen. Let's be honest, I'm pretty sure even a child could figure out the twist from a mile away, so why keep up the facade? It can even be done in a comedic way, like, you'll never figure out who we are, Kelly and Marie. What? 3. Show Agent 3's skills with special weapon manipulation. In both Octo Expansion and Splat 3, it's shown that 3 is very skilled with manipulating specials. So, how about we show that with the final battle against Octavia, with Agent 3 generating a special like a killer whale to finish him. Just an idea. 4. Don't forget about Turf Wars. I don't want the series to only focus on Octo Canyon. The series of Splatoon is about defending your turf in 3-minute games, so finding a way to incorporate regular and ranked battles is essential. My idea would be to show how Agent 3's skills in the lobby correlate to their skills in Octo Canyon. Like, let's say when we first see Free in a turf war, they constantly get spotted by chargers, but after meeting Octo snipers and learning how to fight them, they become better at avoiding snipers in turf. Just an idea. And finally, introduce the bands. You know how in the end of every episode of Lucky Star features these two? Well, what if we did something similar to that by having the first 2 minutes of every episode be dedicated to providing lore on the side characters? More specifically, the members of the game bands having little interviews. It would be a nice little bit of world building without coming off as intrusive. It'd be a nice little way of dropping lore. Alright, those are my 5 points. Besides that, there isn't going to be much else I'd change story-wise. Season 2 would of course be based on Splatoon 2, and it pretty much has similar beats to everything I said about Splatoon 1. Would one major change: have the second season be split in 2. One will of course be based on the main story, and the other will of course be based on the Octo expansion story. Oh, and for the personalities of Agent 4 and Agent 8, 4 should be a spunky and energetic type, and 8 should be a smart, stoic type. But that's just how I see them personally. I can't really say how the story of Splatoon 3 should be handled because at the time of me making this video, the large-scale DLC isn't out yet, so yeah. Base it on Splat 3 story mode. Give us behind the scenes interviews of the bands, world building and all that shit, you get the picture. Okay, this sounds like a decent way of structuring the story, right? Well, there's a problem. In fact, there's a few problems. 1. Direct video game translations to movies or TV shows have a less than favourable reputation, to say the least. 2. And this is a big problem. What happens when the anime catches up with the game? Let me explain. The production of an anime series often takes around 6 to 9 months. A AAA game, on the other hand, takes around 3 to 6 years to develop. You see the problem here, right? Developing a Splatoon series at the same time as the game with the same story is bound to lead to a lot of hiatuses, which in turn would cause the anime in question to slowly start losing views as people get less interested over the years of constantly waiting for the next part. So no, I do not think it'd be a good idea to base the Splatoon anime on the main games. Okay, let's move on to option 2, which is the Kuroko manga. Goro, I believe that's how it's pronounced. Written and illustrated by, okay, forgive me if I mispronounce this, but Sankichi Hinodaya. The manga is an original story with original characters that I basically know absolutely nothing about, but I've heard good things about it. Because I personally haven't experienced it, I can't really give any opinions on it or if it'd be a good adaptation, but I don't think Nintendo would choose to adapt it. I can't really explain why I think this, but I just don't think they would. So, option 1 probably won't work, and option 2 might work. However, there is a third option that I intentionally neglected to mention, and this, in my opinion, is the best one. I was recently watching Zenith Animanga's video on Arcane and Cyberpunk Edgerunners, and he made a very good point that the key to their series' success is the fact that they are prequels. You see where I'm getting at, right? A prequel to the events of Splatoon 1 could work so damn well because it would be based because it can be based on so damn much. It can be based on the fall of humanity and how Alterna fell. It can be based on how Kelly and Marie became agents 1 and 2. Yo, hold on. It could be based on the Great Turf War. We could see how Captain Cuttlefish and DJ Octavio met, how close they were as friends, and how the Turf War Another turf war. Oh my days. Okay, I misspelled turf war on the script over here. How embarrassing. And we can see how the turf war affected them. Imagine a scene where Cuttlefish and Octavia are staring each other in the eyes as they realize what they need to do to secure the success and safety of their people. It would be heartbreaking, man. Oh, to witness two friends that we've come to know forced to become enemies. Oh man, I might just have to hop on fanfiction.com. I have some good ideas here. This, in my opinion, would be the best way to adapt the Splatoon story into a manga. Having an original story based on the events of what we know happened but don't know much about. It could feel fresh for both Splatoon fans and newcomers, and it would be accessible to both. So, if anyone at Nintendo is listening for some weird reason, this, in my opinion, would be the best way to adapt the Splatoon story into an anime. But hey, I'm just a random YouTuber with less than 200 subscribers throwing out suggestions. I'm no professional, but I'm a fan who wants to see Splatoon grow in the West. Regardless, what do you think? How would you turn Splatoon into an anime? Any ideas? Drop them in the comments below. But for now, like, subscribe, follow me on the Bird app and Instagram, and as always, take care of yourselves. In the short span of 3... They're already making mistakes. Besides, there is oh my god, what is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? You know how in the end of every episode of Lucky Stars, Lucky Stars? More specifically, the members of the band, oh my god, I cannot talk. Shit. I accidentally went too far down. God damn. Okay. Ugh, give me a break. Here we are. And option 2 might work. Okay, no. I need to rephrase that. That sounded terrible. Let me do that again. So, option 1 probably won't work. And option 2 might work. No. And this, in my opinion, would be the best way to adapt the Splatoon story. Oh god, come on, man.